Your Hearing Network presents Women Leading Hearing Health, our spotlight series where industry leaders share inspiration, innovation, and valuable business insights for hearing health professionals.
Hello, I'm Lise Lotte Bundesen, and I am the former Managing Director and CEO of the YHN Institute. I have been involved in the hearing field for the last 15 years, ever since I started the YHN Institute, and have enjoyed tremendously the global community of hearing care that has been part of my life for the last 15 years. I was the architect who designed and built the YHN Institute, but the original contractor and funder was Oticon and the Oticon Foundation, as they were willing or wanted to explore what other aspects and technology was essential to the treatment of hearing loss. And so I was hired. When I started designing and constructing the YHN Institute, it became clear to me that one thing that was really missing was the involvement of all stakeholders together, including people with hearing loss. And that awareness and enlightenment on my part was what became the start of mine and YHN Institute's journey around person-centered care. For 15 years, most of my time and energy has been YHN focused. This has been extraordinarily rewarding, but it has also been tough. And the difficulty was definitely exacerbated by the lockdown during Corona. So strongly encouraged by my family, I handed in my resignation last year in July. And this means that I had about a year to get used to the idea of leaving my baby, YHN. Well, when I was offered this job, I knew next to nothing about hearing loss. But when I then started to dig in and started to understand the field of hearing more, I actually became quite indignant because I consider myself to be fairly well read, fairly well educated, fairly up to date with the current affairs, and yet I knew nothing about hearing loss and the consequences of untreated hearing loss. And yeah, I actually became indignant about how come this is this way. And I think that the fact that I didn't, which means that most other people will not know anything about neither the personal consequences or the societal consequences of untreated hearing loss. And that made me really passionate about trying to work with this and trying to change it as well. Oh, there's almost so many that it's hard to choose. First, I think it was the first seminar that we did. Seminars where we bring together all stakeholders have been sort of the engine for YHN development. And having worked towards it for a bit, then having actually the first seminar take place with this variety of stakeholders, public, private, from all over the world, and seeing how people could actually come together and develop something that probably neither of us would have been able to do on our own. That was really a great moment for us, and that was for me personally, because that became the way we worked going forward, which is also why, as I said before, that getting all stakeholders together, that's when things can happen in a way that it wouldn't be just if everybody just worked on their own. So that was the first moment. I think also development of the tools once we saw that they came out there and they were used. And I think that acceptance, the joy that people felt about using these often very simple tool that made a big difference. That's also been rewarding. And then lately, for about 4 or 5 years, I started creating formal partnerships with both patient organizations, professional organizations, and universities. And that's also been very rewarding in bringing the partners together. Because again, what can you say? This revelation to me that about bringing all stakeholders together, how much you can achieve, that I think also became clear to this group of our partners when they were first brought together, that from all over the world and from different areas within hearing care, that could be really helpful and really effective as well. The YHN Institute is a non-profit organization, and this means that everything that we have done and created over the years has been for free, and it has been shared freely with the hearing community. And as we know, it's being used by universities and organizations all over the world. And I think that is probably the service that we have done, apart from what I just mentioned about bringing people together and creating more momentum that way. I think we also, the materials that we have created are fairly simple. We have made a great deal out of actually creating something that would be easy to use and not very complex. And I think that has been very well received. And again, I think it's so important to stress that everything that we have created has been created together with the people who are going to use it. So we worked with everybody. So it's not as if we've been sitting here trying to just set things on our own. We maybe have come up with ideas for something, but then we have collaborated broadly about around these topics. And that is what we continue to do, the YHN Institute continues to do. I think, first of all, you have to think about why you want to get involved. What will drive you to become involved in this? I strongly believe that passion is a great driver, both for action and also for creating change. That will be the first one. And my second advice would be to team up with someone. It could be a person, it could be an organization that's already there. Because I also believe that teamwork and partnerships, it's more fun, and it's also more motivating, and the chances of making things happen are definitely much greater in teamwork or partnerships. Then I think also becoming knowledgeable about what it is that you're going to, about your cause. And if you don't have hearing loss yourself, you definitely have to talk to and involve yourselves with people with hearing loss, because otherwise you don't really know what it is that you're working with. And now we're talking hearing loss, but that will go for any cause that you wanted to take up. And then I think you just have to have some stamina and be prepared for things not happening as fast as you may want them to. But again, passion will take you a long way. When I entered the field, then there were a lot of changes. And all through these 15 years, we've all been talking about, there are so many changes going on, and where will it all end, and how will we all work, because there are changes. And now again, there are the changes happening after the OTC legislation in the US and so on. And that might be daunting and felt to be difficult for many people. But I still believe that this is a field where there is so much to be done, and so much there is needed to be done. And that's why when you working in this field, it's rewarding It's really rewarding, and there continues to be so many opportunities and possibilities for changing things. And I, even after I've now retired from here, then I keep saying, oh, we could do this, oh, you could do this, and why don't they, and so on. So it's definitely not as if there is no longer anything to be done. On the contrary, I think there is still a lot to be done, and as I said, doing that will continue to be rewarding for a long time.